After just a little over a month in self-quarantine, I've started to wonder what we're learning about ourselves during this time, what we're learning about our communities, and what we're learning about kindness. And so I hope that you'll join me as I explore with some friends what we've learned during this time of quarantine. Hey, thanks for joining me to share some good vibes in your corner of the world. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that cute little bell so that you'll get notified anytime new tips for good vibes drop. When I think of this time that we've all been in a version of quarantine, we've all been learning so many different things. We've certainly been learning about our love of sweatpants, our need for human connection. Some people have learned new technology so that they can stay connected. Other folks have dusted off their old sewing machines or learned how to create and make things like masks to help keep us safe as well as support our healthcare workers. And so I asked a few of my friends what they have been learning and what they've been noticing during this time of quarantine.
Because the world is changing and it's forcing us to change. It's forcing us to change the way we live, the way we socialize, the way we shop, the way we work. It's really forcing us to change means that it's forcing us to be a little bit more courageous, forcing us out of our comfort zone, forcing us to do something differently that we wouldn't have done it before. And it also builds character. So when you're forced to change and you're forced to do something the way that you've never done it before, you're also forced to build character. And I think there's going to be a lot new character building that's been developed. And I think that everybody's going to have even a lot more strength of self coming out of this, feeling like, you know what, I was able to do that and I was able to survive in these circumstances and in these times. And I hope they take that with them to the next level of their life, saying, hey, when anything else is thrown at me, whatever it will be, I'm going to be able to handle it because I know how to survive. So, and I have the community behind me and also people behind me that love me, that will help me. So I think that's one thing that's coming out of it.
An increased sense of courage and strength that we together can gather to meet those needs. I think if one person thought, well, I have these skills, I have this talent, I have this ability to do something, once people learn that people are coming out in droves to meet these needs, that energy is amazing. And wow, it's amazing to read about it. Even if you don't know how to sew a mask, wow, just to know that a lot of people are doing that, and it just makes you think, what else can I do? I can do something and join that positive energy and make a difference.
I love seeing all the acts of kindness that we're seeing, whether it's supporting kids with long-distance drive-by birthday parties or reaching out to someone in the community that has been brave enough to share that they are food insecure and they need food right now. Whether it's services that are doing what they can to support women who are victims of domestic violence and in the worst possible position while in quarantine. There's so many different things that are going on, from individuals to our health workers and heroes on the front lines, and how we can support these larger initiatives as well as how we can support each other one-on-one.
So I come from a very big Italian family that does everything together all the time. We see each other at least twice a week. I think it's so important to make sure that we're checking in with family members, loved ones, friends, even people that you haven't talked to in a long time, just to make sure that they're okay and let them know that we're not alone in this. And so if there is one most significant lesson, it's the importance of that human connection and staying, as close as possible with those that you value in your life, any way that you can.
And we've really tried to increase communication with people just to stay sane, but also, that would be by phone or by computer, but also to make sure that people are okay. And that could be people we know, and that could be people we don't know. I think there's been an increase in communication, definitely with even people on your street or people who live alone. You want to make sure they're okay. We are increasing our communication with people who are at higher risk. We want to know if they're okay. And those things combined, I think, has raised an awareness, our awareness of people's needs in our society and our community.
I realized the first couple of days we were all shell-shocked, and it was so weird to go outside and see somebody coming and walk across the street. And it felt like being disconnected was the healthiest thing to do. Everybody was in their own space and we were all so worried and trying to digest what was going on. And then I realized one time I stopped and I said to myself, I feel really lonely. This is strange to walk around people. I'm really sad. And I'm wondering if anybody else is hurting from this disconnection. And so the next time I saw somebody, I did say hello. And it seemed like the most normal thing in the world. And I could see this audible relief on the face of the other person as we were just striving to do something normal. And since then, I've just really made a point to say hello to everybody, to talk to kids when I see them on their bikes across the street, to lean over my fence in my backyard when neighbors are outside. And it's really helping. So what I'm taking away is that acknowledging people, giving them that gift, feeling that they're important. And whether they take it away or not is fine, but at least you offered the gift.
Staying connected is one of the resounding messages that I hear from everyone I talk to. And that definitely goes for me. I'm an extrovert, which means I draw energy from other people. So being more disconnected than ever from folks is really challenging. But the one thing that everybody's realized is that even in this ultra digital age that we've been living in for such a long time, we realize we used to spend a lot of time with our devices and taking for granted the people that were right in front of us. And so this time to really reconnect and the craving to be able to be back together again in person once this is all over is resounding. A big part of connection and reconnecting has been community. Whether we're reflecting on how we genuinely need one another in community, how we can help one another in community, or how community helps to support us, it's one of my favorite things that I've been hearing from everyone.
My real takeaway from this period is that I have gifts to give my community. I live in a very, very small town, probably under 1,000 people. And these people all have found a way to give to me and my family during this period, and I really need to look inside of myself and find things that I can give my community.
Just looking back to Easter, in our town we had a couple carloads go by with some Easter bunnies and people dressed up in little Easter bonnets and hats, and I'm sure they're all like part of one little family, and they're in convertibles and they're waving to everybody, a guy dressed up as an Easter bunny. And members of the community were outside their house sitting in lawn chairs and just sitting on their property and waiting to wave to the Easter bunny. That was a really big part of their day. And one gentleman even said to me from an equal distance away, he said to me, he goes, "You know what, who would have ever thought the best part of my day was going to be waiting outside to wave to an Easter bunny?" And that made my heart melt, because it reminded me that sometimes it's the simplest things that can make us so happy. And we need to get back to a time when it was a little bit more simple and we weren't on our phones and we were actually connecting with our community and doing it in a fashion that was a little bit more simple and felt good. So
I'm hoping not just for myself, but for everybody, that we all take the sense of community that has come from this crisis. It even is apparent when you go for your walks in the neighborhoods, people you wouldn't ordinarily talk to or spend time with, but you're stopping and saying hi. And even though it's, from social distancing, being safe, but it is funny. And everybody kind of has almost a collective laugh about the fact that we're very friendly from far apart. And so I'm hoping that continual sense of community stays with us.
So I asked a few of my friends what they're going to carry forward from this whole experience. What's changed them? What will they commit to doing in life after coronavirus is quelched?
And honestly, I think we're going to be a little bit more humble because what we thought we knew about this virus, we just didn't know. We had no understanding of it. Everything we thought we knew and we thought we understood changed on a dime. And I think that's going to give us a real sense of to bring into our lives a real sense of maybe we don't know everything that we think we know, and it will humble us and make us listen a little bit more than we talk, and seek first to understand before being understood, and open our minds to new and different ways of thinking and doing things, and realizing that maybe we're not always right. So I hope that's what we come away with, and we listen to more people, find out new ways of doing things, and become a little bit more humble. So I really think that's what's going to happen, and I hope it does. So
The biggest act of kindness that I'll take away after this entire pandemic has subsided a little bit is the importance of human connection in person, and really appreciating that time that we have with our families and our friends. A lot of times I think that we're moving so fast and we're on our phones, and you have to get this done, or work pops up over the weekend and you need to finish it. But it's so important to actually be present with the people you're surrounding yourself with, and appreciating and you being so grateful that you have that time with people. Because a lot of us have lost loved ones. A lot of us are really struggling right now, and we're very fortunate that we're going to be able to come out of this and be back together again soon. So take advantage of it. Be nice to each other. Appreciate the time that you have with those around you, those who love you, those who want to spend time with you, and really make the most of it.
And the first thing that I thought of is that I have been able to embrace stillness as a way to help me get organized in the morning. And so that is something I'm hoping I'll be able to take forward. Stillness is something that is not part of me, but I hope it's something that'll continue, because it really does help me be calmer and more focused throughout the day.
There are two things that I really hope continue post-COVID-19 pandemic. And that is, of course, this increased sense of generosity. I don't even think it's a sense. I think it's a reality. People are just being very generous, and I really hope that continues. The other thing that I really hope continues is our sense of communication and those new acquaintances that I hope develop into long-term friendships.
I hope some of these shares have been an encouragement to you, and I really, really want to know what your experiences have been during this time of quarantine. Because as we continue forward, we need to look at the good that's coming out of this, as well as what we're learning, so that we can use this as an opportunity to make change for good in the world ahead. Before you go ahead and hit that like button so the YouTube algorithm can share this with more people who need some encouragement. A special thanks to my friends who are willing to share some insights and a few thoughts with us so that I could share it with you today. I love you guys, I miss you, and I can't wait to see you in person. I appreciate you, and you are amazing. Now go out and live kind today.